order. First question goes to Anthony Merced, followed by Pardeep. If you could also please introduce your media outlet.
Hello, Lynn, Anthony Merced with Red Bull News Network. It was a roller coaster of an emotional game over the weekend. Can you speak a little bit what it was like, the decision day, Ali's final game, the going ahead, drawing? Like, what was it like at the end of that game?
Yeah, well, the NWSL is wild, especially this year. You know, the table is so close. Any goal or anything seemed to be moving everybody all over the board. Obviously, when we're in the game, we don't realize that. But people on the sidelines knew what was happening. And we knew at the very end of the game that if we stayed tied, that Orlando had to score 2 more goals to nudge us out on goal differential. So the very end, you know, I think there was only 2 minutes left in that game, but you never know until the final whistle. So everybody was just like, come on, like let's get in. And then once that happened, everybody was obviously relieved, and then it just turned more to celebrating Ali. We've been celebrating her all week, all season, and we are so honored and grateful that we just get to continue to celebrate her. But I think that like that's what this league prepares you for, is just like crazy moments and being able to ride those waves. And if you would have told me in the 20th minute of the game, were we going to win the game? Absolutely. But that's not how soccer goes sometimes. But on the positive, this season we've been able to, or we've been struggling like scoring early, and that game we scored early. So it's now just putting everything together.
All right. Thank you, Lynn. Our next question goes to Pardeep and then followed by Carrie Anderson.
Hi, Lynn. I'm Pardeep from CBS Sports. I wanted to ask you what you think are the biggest areas of improvement for the team heading into the game on Sunday.
Yeah, you know, North Carolina, they're a possession team, but they're also a team that can hit you on transition. And obviously in the Kansas City game, we got scored on kind of a transitional play as well. So just making sure that as a unit, as a group, we're shifting together and defending well together, and just staying organized and disciplined, I think would be the key moment. And then when we get our opportunities, making sure that we take them.
And if I'm allowed to ask a second, obviously you're here, you're in the playoffs in the first year under Juan Carlos Amaros. Can you talk about like just the transformation of the team tactically and why you think it's been a successful run to get Gotham back into the playoffs after, I think, a 2-year absence?
Well, I can't really speak to things prior to me. I don't really know what was going on last year. I don't know the tactics. I don't know like all of the misfortune that they had. But I think that this year there's definitely a unity and a belief in the team. I think we are a very talented group. But when you just come together and you're all in and you believe in one another, when things aren't going well, you figure out a way to look at each other and say, let's figure this out. And when things are going well, you also are able to look at each other and celebrate everybody's like little quirks and specialties and all the things. And I think that this coaching staff looks at our team and does that. They say, okay, what makes Lynn special? What makes Yasmin Ryan special? What makes, and I can go on the whole entire team, but what makes everybody special? And then how do we build a game plan around that? So I think that, but I can't speak to what happened last year.
Oh, if I can clarify just a tiny bit, I think this is my last one. Tactically for you, how have you adjusted to playing in this particular system? And, you know, what do you find that you enjoy about it? And why do you think you've been successful this year because of it?
Well, just my history in the past, I was with North Carolina, obviously, for most of my career, and then, you know, moved to Kansas City and didn't play a minute or because of my injury. But in North Carolina, we played a 2 front, and then coming to Gotham, we obviously play a 3 front, which is very similar to the national team. So I think that my experience on the national team has translated very well, and also my experience here has translated both ways. Just learning the position better, learning the system better, and then just, you know, growing into a more veteran leadership role. I think that I've been a veteran for a while, but not necessarily I've always seen myself that way. So just being able to, you know, embrace that and help in any way that I can. And fortunately for the beginning of the season, I was able to help the team in scoring goals, but I don't score goals unless the whole team does a very great job defensively or doesn't, make the right passes at the right time. So I think it's one on me, but also just like I said, we have great players around, and we're able to like support one another, and we know what everybody's good at. And once you know what your team's good at, you just trust them to get the job done.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Pardeep. Next, we'll go to Carrie Anderson and then Jenna Tinelli. A reminder, if you have a question, to click the raise hand icon. Carrie.
Great. Yeah, Carrie Anderson from the Messenger. Hi, Lynn. I'm wanted to start by saying congratulations on making the U.S. Women's National Team roster again for this month. And I'm curious how you and also your teammates are planning on balancing, the U.S. Women's National Team as well as the NWSL playoffs.
Yeah, I think that this is a very interesting year where you play the first game and then there's going to be like a lull with the international break, and then we're coming back to hopefully finish the rest of the playoffs. I think that has been the struggle, or it's the challenge all year long, and it's going to continue to be the challenge moving forward. That's what it is when you're a professional athlete. When you are a Gotham player and an international player, you know how to compartmentalize. You get really good at it the longer you do it. And then you know that all the players that are staying back home are doing every single thing that it takes to stay ready. And so hopefully it will be a easier transition when you get back. I think when you have like a very clear game plan, a very clear style, it's easier to go back and forth. But it's a lot of compartmentalizing and just staying ready. We only have a month left of the season until the championship game. So just being able to stay in that mentally for that month, it's 1 month for the rest of our lives. So I think that's how we do it, is we just lean on each other and say, we're going to do this and you guys are going to go away and we're going to hold it down here. And like I said, it's like a lot of trust and compartmentalizing.
Yeah, and as a follow-up, I'm curious, are there any specific like logistical challenges that are going to kind of come from balancing these two things in such a short period of time?
I mean, there's always like, you just, at this moment in time, like you just don't know where you're going to be, what your life is going to look like, because you don't know what results are happening. So it's just a lot of sitting and waiting and all of that. But that's the most exciting part. Like that's why you play, is to have this unknown about your life. And I would say the more logistical issues are on the front office side, because they're like, we got to get a hotel in a day, and you're like, oh, okay, sure. But no, it's the lifestyle. Like I said, it's just being able to compartmentalize and realize that you don't really have much control of your life at the moment.
All right, thank you, Carrie. Next, we'll go to Jenna Tinelli. Jenna.
Hi, Lynn. Thanks so much for taking the time. Congrats on the call up. I actually wanted to go back to something you said, and you've said before, just kind of about being a veteran, but not always like feeling like a veteran. And specifically, though, as a veteran on Gotham, I was just wondering if you could talk a little bit about your rookie, Jenna Neiswanger, just kind of how she's progressed since the beginning of the season and how she's been a pivotal part of this team and getting them back to the playoffs.
Jenna's awesome. I have nothing but like high praises for her, nothing but great things to say. She came in and was drafted as a forward. And so to be able to go into the left back position and really just take the time to learn the position. She's learning every single game. But at a high level, you would never know that she is. If I have no idea if she's nervous, but if she was, I had no idea. You don't know that she is just there for the first year. Because we have been playing on the same side these past couple games, we've been communicating a lot, and I'll tell her something that I see, and she'll communicate it back to me. And it's just to watch her develop and grow. And sometimes I speak to her as if she's a veteran too, because that's just the energy and how she exudes herself and presents herself to the world. And then I realized like, oh, so this is her first year in this position, and this is her first year in the league. But I think it shows what kind of human she is and what kind of player she is. She's a baller. She wants to win and wants to score and wants to do all the things just like everybody else. So I'm just excited to see what she can do in year 2, 3, 4. She's going to have a long career. Her ceiling is very high, and I can't wait to watch her.
Awesome. Thank you. And I was also wondering if you got a chance to see the newly designed championship trophy and what you think about it.
I did. I think that's amazing. I think it's awesome. Yeah, I think all the investment that's going into this league and in this game is obviously incredible. And the trophy looks great. We should have an amazing looking trophy. This is an amazing league.
Agreed. Awesome. Thanks again, and congrats on making it to the playoffs, and best of luck this weekend.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, last call for any final questions. All right. Thank you, Lynn. Thanks for your time today.